My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop. All right, guys, welcome back. EYL.
Yeah.
South Beach edition, but this is Uptown edition, really.
Yeah.
This is Legendary edition, man. If you follow us, you know that, hip hop really raised us. We talk about it all the time. We always reference all of these rappers and everything. It's part of our DNA. And of course, one of the biggest
Yeah.
ever to do it,
Right.
the legendary Fat Joe.
Yeah.
So we
It's a
didn't know,
fact.
we in Miami, and we didn't know that this was actually even going to come about. This happened just on the fly. Shout out to Tribble.
Shout out to Tribble, shout out to Nicole. Black Effect.
for making this happen.
Yep.
So, I mean, it really needs no introduction, but I'll give a quick rundown. 30 years in the game, started with Digging in the Crates, I believe, in 1990. First album, Respect, came out in 1993.
Bro, can we just like pay homage to that? I had a Diamond D record. I had the CD. Diamond D CD with Lord Finesse.
I was in Diamond's album. I'm in every single ad lib on his album.
Word?
I'm the guy in the background going, yo, that's that shit. Or when he talks to the girl and I'm like, yo, what's up? And she's like, yo, chill. Every ad lib on Diamond's album is Fat Joe.
Yo, this guy. I told him when he was coming up, I'm like, yo, we both from the Bronx, born in the Bronx, raised in Westchester. But I was like,
Shit.
for a while, I used to be like, yo, KRS is the illest in the Bronx. Like, there's no denying it.
That's
And then
his favorite rapper.
that was my favorite rapper. I'm like, yo, nobody's better. I don't care what y'all talking about, Rakim. Yo, KRS is the illest. And then this guy comes, you got a flow, Joe. And now he's became the king of the Bronx. And I'm like, damn. He was like, you got to meet KRS one day. I'm like, please?
Yeah. That's my mentor. That's my idol. You know what I'm saying? I rap because of KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? The first time I ever heard him, I remember one time, the first time I ever heard Consciousness was at a KRS. I hopped the train, Prospect Avenue, went in the back car, and I listened in my Walkman, and he was like, airplanes flying, overseas people dying, politicians lying. I'm trying not to escape, but hit the problem head on. And he just opened up some shit in my mind where I had never known consciousness before that. And, he's the guy that made me want to rap. Him and LL Cool J, they both equal idols for different reasons.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for them two, I would have never rapped.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fat Joe. I can go on and on, but we're going to talk about it during the interview. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it, man. This is a business show, as we were saying before. So the conversation is going to be a little different probably than most of the conversations that you have because you're going to go deeper than rap. So when I look at you, I don't just look at you as, a rap mogul. I look at you as a variety of different things, but one of the greatest A&Rs that's ever lived and one of the greatest heirs for talent.
Not giving enough credit for that, too.
No, it's a fact. I mean, when you look at Big Pun, rest in peace, when you look at Remy Ma, Cool and Dre, DJ Khaled, to name a few, Tony Sunshine,
Scott Storch.
Scott Storch.
Bryson Tiller. We was early with Bryson Tiller.
Ooh. What was your involvement?
Pitbull. I took Pitbull's demo and got him his first record deal.
That was crazy because he's supposed to sign with Murder Inc. first.
Who, Pitbull?
Yeah. I remember Irv was trying to get him to go over there.
No, he was trying to sign Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, okay.
And also, I could have signed Rick Ross too. But a lot of mistakes I made. But Pitbull, I got him his deal. You know what I'm saying?
How'd that come about?
Trick Daddy, I was out here in Miami in Super Bowl weekend, caught his fucking CD at the flea market. I was playing it the whole time I was out here. I went to Atlantic. I gave it to Craig Common. He signed Trick Daddy like 2 days later.
So we'll talk about all of those stories, but all right.
Yeah, talk about but you talking about my eye for talent. I'm just trying to let the people know.
Yeah.
How did that develop? How did that develop? Because most rappers, they're not really on it like that. They focus on their career. They might find one or two people from the neighborhood.
Maybe.
That's obvious in the neighborhood. Yeah. Like even
I'm indebted and I'm in love with the culture. Coming up from the Bronx like you two, we're very unique in where this is where hip hop was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's different sections of the Bronx, but fortunately for me, I was born in the section that created hip hop. So I would watch Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash play pickup games of basketball. I would watch Ruby D, the first Latino MC, play softball with his brothers. So I was around Little Rodney C. I was around Sha Rock. I was around all of the whole hip hop shit started in my hood. Skarsky, Lovebug Starsky was from my hood. All of them was from my hood. And so I'm indebted to the culture. So if I hear an artist that's incredible and she says, Fat Joe, I would never sign to you. I don't want to sign to you. I would give her names of people that could sign her because I feel like I owe it to the people in hip hop to hear greatness.
So, all right, how did it first come about as far as Terror Squad becoming a record label and signing? Was Big Pun the first person to sign the Terror Squad?
I think Armageddon was.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Got that.
So
Yeah.
Armageddon was. And so Armageddon, just like me and Diamond D, where I tell you I did every ad-lib, Armageddon did every ad-lib on the Represent album. So I was at Jazzy J Studio in the Bronx. That was a legendary studio. Grand Poobah used to do his albums. Diamond did his albums, everybody. So I did my album there, and Armageddon lived around the corner. So he was like the little kid that wanted to rap, to be in the studio. He was there all the way with me. And then he got on the first album, and he was my brother ever since. And then Pun was, Pun was actually the logo. You know what I'm saying? He was the person to take Terror Squad as a record label to the next level.
So, and then Remy Ma comes after that, obviously.
That was crazy.
Oh my God.
What was it like for you from the Bronx? You got this fat Puerto Rican guy. First of all, you got Fat Joe. You're hearing Fat Joe's the realest ever in the game. Y'all know that.
We know the stories.
Besides the fact y'all know the story.
We know the stories.
Then he signs the fatter Puerto Rican that's spitting some crazy. And then they sign the hottest chick that's spitting some shit. What's that like for you guys in the Bronx?
I was watching the whole thing, just loving it, because I remember when they did the Creep with Me. And like moves to the Latinas, all the kids in the streets call me Don Cartagena.
I'm gonna tell you another one, bro. When we went to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, I have y'all on tape, bro. Like I'm watching y'all on the float. Y'all got Angie's on the float with y'all, and then y'all went even further. Y'all walked through Central Park. I was like, yo, that's Fat Joe. They would kiss. They would stop. Like we recorded it as it's happening. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It was a moment, man. It was a moment.
The Puerto Rican Parade, I'm the first person to ever do hip hop in the Puerto Rican Parade. So I kept going to them, and they kept saying that Puerto Ricans don't like hip hop. Puerto Ricans like salsa. This before reggaeton, right? Was actually big. And so the Puerto Rican Parade became like our Grammys. So we would put out our music and circle back June, whatever it was, and celebrate our success at the Puerto Rican Parade. Literally, I could not even sleep that night before. I wouldn't even be able to sleep just because I wanted to be at the parade. And the parade for everybody out there had like 10 million people.
Yeah, it was
the whole city, the whole world would come to the Puerto Rican Parade, hoping you find you a little J-Lo at that parade. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was catching the J-Lo out there, and motherfucker flying in from Chicago all over trying to catch a J-Lo. And we was bringing Puff, Mace, Ja Rule, Styles.
Everybody.
We was doing a summer jam on a float.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Crazy.
That's a fact.
So how was it as far as transitioning from you? I feel like obviously everybody knows you're Puerto Rican, but it was like just rap, just regular rap. Mm-hmm. And then when Pun came, I remember he had that like Latin record, and it started to like a lot of Latin rappers started to come after that. And then even reggaeton years later started. But even like when Nori didn't fully embrace that until like after. It was more so just, so long story short, was that a plan that you put in place to be like, yo, there's millions of Latinos out here that love hip hop? But
you see, I grew up black.
What's going on, y'all? So I know you hear the talk all the time. Somebody's always claiming to be the greatest at something, whether it's in sports, entertainment, even education. But I want to put you on to something that just came to our radar, and that's Goat Fuel, aka the greatest of all time fuel. A health-focused energy drink brought to us by Jerry Rice and his beautiful family. We just got put onto it, and I gotta say, it's pretty amazing. It has 0 sugar, 0 preservatives, and is filled with a ton of premium and unique ingredients designed to fuel your greatness in any of your daily activities, whether it's in the gym, in the field, at the office, or behind the mic or during your leisure. It has all the great things that your body needs to thrive, including green tea, 200 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, 10 essential vitamins, and so much more. And did I mention mushrooms? Yep, that's right. Goat Fuel is the only energy drink out there on the market that is fueled by cordyceps mushrooms. Cordyceps help improve oxygen performance, give you more energy, and even make you feel younger with anti-aging properties. The energy comes on smooth, lasts for hours, and leaves you clear-headed without having crashes and jitters throughout the day. It's the main reason we can't stop drinking it, and we suggest you give it a try too. Just head over to goatfuel.com right now and use the code EYL20 to get 20% off your purchase. That's right, 20% off your purchase with the code EYL20, or head over to your local GNC and grab some now. That's from one goat to the next. Don't wait, don't hesitate. Get your Goat Fuel.
It's hard to conceive, or, some people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I did. I grew up in the black side of town, and so much that I'm ready to really investigate how many Latino families live in my projects, because it was so black, right? And they didn't tell me I wasn't black. I had blonde hair and green eyes, and I was thinking I'm black, and because that's where I grew up, and so, but there was a Puerto Rican side of the Bronx, and I didn't know. We didn't have Instagram. It wasn't until I went to high school that my man that went to high school with me was like, yo, you do know I live in the Puerto Rican side. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, black guys don't run shit down there. We run shit down there. I said, well, what do you mean? So I go over there, and it's Puerto Rican heaven, bro. It's outside, Hector Lavoe, flags outside, little J-Lo's all over everybody. I'm like, oh my God, this shit.
We have our big
This
one,
shit
man.
exists. We have our own barrio. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I gotta switch high schools.
Oh yeah, nah, because I ran the.
Was you at Clinton?
No. I was in Morris. I ran my hood.
Okay.
Can't nobody tell you that. I ran my hood, bro. I don't know how to tell you. I'm the king of my hood. That's it. To this day, I'm the king of my hood. You know what I'm saying? But the same way I approached hip hop, you've never heard me. You've never seen somewhere me say, "Oh, it's unfair. We Latinos. We don't get a big break. This is black music." I never got he's Latino or he's Puerto Rican Joe. When I grew up, it was Joey. And Joey Crack, and it's the same shit. I don't know. Black people ain't look at me like he's Spanish, and it was always that's Joey. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I got in junior high that I had to go to school, and I write about it in my book. I got a book I'm writing now. And when I went to junior high, they didn't understand it. So I went to an even blacker neighborhood. So if my neighborhood was 99% black, I went to a 99.9 black hood where the Spanish niggas ain't have no juice. And I'm walking up in there, V-bomber. Yo, what's up, yo?
Only jacket
the
line.
fuck is good? They're like, oh no, we ain't jacking that. We ain't nah. Where the fuck this alien come from? So it's different because I grew up a baby.
Yeah.
I'm born in my projects. I was born in Bronx, Lebanon, across the street from where Larry Davis shot the cops. That's where I was born. And they brought me to the projects. And I've always been Joey, Fat Joey from Forest. And that's it. So they know me since a baby. And they knew, he's going to be a bad little motherfucker. You can watch a little kid in kindergarten and know he's going to be a bad. The guy doing the real flying kicks in the back. He's a piece of shit.
People in the back of the head.
Yeah. So they looking
sit down.
Yeah, they looking at me like, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's the most likely not to succeed.
Most likely.
And so, they was cool. My hood was that's Joey.
Yeah.
But then when I got suspended from so many schools in that neighborhood, they sent me my grandmother's neighborhood, and that was I got bullied every day. I got beat up every day by 20 different guys every single day. And I fought them all every day. So people could tell you about getting bullied. I got bullied when I went to school every day, got beat up every day, and fought them every day. You can research this all you want. They will tell you no different. He fought 20 dudes every day. Thanksgiving, black eye, big lip. Christmas, black eye, big lip. It was because truthfully, they didn't understand how could this Spanish dude be in this neighborhood and trying to move the way he moved? And, you know, and you know, I guess they had to get used to it. You know what I'm saying? And now I go over there and I'm like a king. You know what I'm saying? They love me. They see me. They proud of me. They, yo, Joe, what's up, bro? Yo, you know, and that's just the way it is.
So that was Pun, that his, like, when that Spanish salsa vibe.
Yeah, that was Pun. That was Pun with 100%. Now, it was me on an executive level.
Yeah.
Where Loud Records told me, yo, you get a budget, all right? Finance, what's the name of your shit? Let's get this going, right? So you get a budget, right? And when you growing up, we ain't have shit. We from the projects, we ain't got nothing. So when you become a rapper and some white dudes are giving you $1.5 million, you like, fuck that, we tricking this shit off. Like we ain't got no sense of a budget, but there really is a budget, right? So when they gave us the budget, Pun had passed, but he had made that record 100%, what you talking to. Steve Rifkin, the radio team, the video team, everybody told me this record wasn't going to go. They were like, yo, there is no Puerto Ricans in Memphis, Tennessee. There is no Puerto Ricans in Atlanta, Georgia. There is like people do not, other than New York got Puerto Ricans, you ain't, you know, so I knew it wasn't going to blow. I knew it wasn't going to be like a still not a player. I knew it wasn't, but I still spent the $500,000 on the video. I still spent the money on the video and the radio. And that was just simply because I knew we would be talking about this 20 years later. Yeah. It was groundbreaking. And I knew Pun was the biggest hero for Latinos in hip hop. And we had to send him off that way. Yeah. So I spent that money knowing I wasn't getting that money back. But I did it for like, you know, legacy and culture and shit like that.
Yeah, I still don't. I be trying to say the chorus every time, but I know the rhythm of it. That's what I come in. So from the executive side, because you're an artist first, right? Who are you looking to for guidance at this point? Is it like Russell Simmons at the time? Is it Puff? Who's giving you the guidance on the executive side?
Nobody gave me nothing. Nobody. And I was cool with Puff. I actually knew Puff Daddy when he had a see-through chain. So Puff Daddy is probably my motivation because I've never looked at nobody through a jealous lens. I've always looked at people with inspiration. So if we came tomorrow, I do a podcast. I don't know if we call this podcast, whatever we want to call it, right? So I do the big show. If you make $100 million, you may have never met Fat Joe, and I am cracking aces for you. Yeah! And you don't even have a clue, right? But I'm like, if they got 100 million, I could get 100 million. Right. And that's how I've always looked at everything. So Puff Daddy used to run up on me. You know, I sold drugs before I rap. And so with me, Puff Daddy used to chase me in my Beamers and Benzes, and I got ice on, and I'm looking like this. And he's like, yo, crack, what's up? And this. Next thing I know, he's a billionaire. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So he was smart. He knew the branding business before everybody else. He knew how to make certain moves. Puff Daddy took everything that we thought was fun, and it was always business. So Puff Daddy would throw a party, and we like getting drunk and thinking we having fun. Meanwhile, he got the president of Viacom on there. He got the owner of the Yankees in there. And he working the motherfuckers to get that bread that we can't see while we're adding to the, you know, I got Fat Joe, Latinos. I got this one. I got that one, and he just finessing it. Yeah. You know, so he was ahead of time with his branding. But me personally, nobody ever gave me help. The only executive I could tell you that allowed me to do what I wanted to do was Steve Rifkin at Loud Records. He helped me sign Big Pun. He gave me the money. He funded my ideas, my creativity. You know, he funded it. He put up the money for it. And for that, I'm forever in debt to him.
What's going on, earners? Welcome to EYL University, the #1 place for business education. Shouty, tell them what we're bringing.
Yes, EYL University already has over 100 past webinars from all areas of business. It includes weekly webinars from industry leaders. It includes access to our investment Facebook group, movie club, our book club. It also includes access to monthly financial planning calls with yours truly. But what has been added has access to MG the Mortgage Guy's Home Buyer's Blueprint, over 14 hours, everything you need to know as far as the home buying process is concerned. And also what has been added is access to our monthly group chat calls.
Right.
So once a month, me, Troy, and the whole team is going to let you in on our personal plays, our portfolio, what we're doing, and more. So all of that, we are running for a special promo code of 70% off for a limited time only. So head to EYLUniversity.com right now and take advantage.
You know how this works. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. We'll see you on the other side.
So how, because we always hear about, these record labels, especially back then with Rough Riders and, Cash Money and all of that. Like, how did it work at that time? And what's the difference between that time and now? Like, did you had a record label. What does that really mean? Is it really a record label, or is it like a subsidiary of Sony?
It's a subsidiary of Sony, and it's all, if you want to talk about, I never talk like this because I don't like to burn bridges, but, the whole major label shit is like a Ponzi scheme to me. Mm-hmm. It's more like, it's the math is funny.
Yeah,
I'm saying, if you went out right now and I told you, yo, I'm going to give you 10 glasses, 10 pairs of shades, stand in the corner and sell the 10 pairs of shades, each one for $10 a shade. And I tell you, you make 8 cents out of that. Are you going to really stand out there for 8 hours, 12 hours selling this shit to make 8 cents? So now you use your creativity, you use your passion, you make the music, you promote the music, you do this and that, and you get 8 cents while the record label is getting $9.92 that we see. We don't even know the shit they pressing somewhere else or whatever the case may be. So the shit is like a Ponzi scheme to me. So it's fun while it lasted. I mean, the record labels are like enablers. Mm-hmm. And so they take you and they baby you, and then they throw you in the street. When they think you're not worth no more, they throw you in the street.
Swiss Beats said something that I'll never forget. He said, he went to Harvard for like that 6-week program thing.
School, yep.
And he said one of the things that they taught him in Harvard was like, give somebody don't treat them like they work for you. Make them feel like they're your partner, and they'll work harder. So he was like, he related that to the music business, where it's like he's seen like a lot of guys get record labels, but really they're not really running the record label. But in their mind, the perception is better than reality. So they can feel like, yo, I got this label, I'm signing these artists, but it all comes back to the top dude.
It's all a predatory business. They take young black people and young Spanish people who grew up with no money, single parent homes, if that are talented, make music from the soul, and they know that these guys ain't educated. The lawyers that's representing us artists are their friends that went to school with them, brother-in-laws in some cases. And the whole shit is predatory. The whole time is like, and so it's a lot of you motherfuckers out there. It's a lot of crooks out there that's real smart. See, I never got robbed by a guy with a gun. I always got robbed by a guy with a smile and a bow tie, who talk a little smarter than me, who had a better, what could you say, vocabulary than me. And we think because they look like us, or they went somewhere and they smart, they could represent us. And those are the guys who rob you. So the record labels ain't no different. So these people get next to you and they befriend you, and they figure out the whole time they talking to you and having these meetings with you, they realizing they trying to figure out what you do know and you don't know. And when they figure out what you don't know, that's where they figure out where to rob you from, because you're never going to find out. You don't even know about it. And so, a lot of that takes place in the business.
I told Joe Button the other day, shout out to Joe, you have to be educated even to ask a question. Yeah. You have to have a little bit of education to even ask a question. A lot of times with us, we're not even in a position to ask a question.
We don't know.
Because our level of education is so low, you're not even educated enough to ask a question.
Well, that's where we go back into entrepreneurialism. That's where we go back to business is business. So what happened to me is I've been in the streets since I was 14 years old. So I left. You got to understand. Everybody says that. I don't know how true their story is. I was 14 years old in the streets, a baby. My daughter's 14. She called me today, FaceTime, Dad, you don't love me. That's the type of shit you talk to a 14-year-old. I'm 14 years old, selling drugs, living in crackhead hotels. Had to figure out, I go to 145th and Broadway, buy $50 worth of crack cocaine, come back in the cab, cut the shit up, make $100 profit to buy a pair of sneakers, go back over there with the $50, do this shit 3-4 times a day, risking my life, risking everything. 14 years old, living in crackhead hotels where they busting people's heads open with 40-ounce bottles of, I'm opening the door and they're shooting heroin in front of me, so it's too much for a 14-year-old. So I came in doing the business, and so I got really big at that business, like really, really, I'm not proud of it, but like really, really big. So I always was an entrepreneur and always looking to expand and do my thing. So when I got in the music business, I always came in with the entrepreneurialism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I shot the movie Night School, and thank God that they picked me for the movie. Kevin Hart and
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish and my man Will Packer.
Will
But
Packer's
the whole
beast.
time I was there, I didn't like it because I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed being with my peers and learning from them. But the whole time I was like, yo, I don't own this shit. And so I went and sold the movie to Warner Brothers recently.
Just talking about that.
Cato movie.
Yeah, we go.
So I'm not that's me. I'm trying to figure out how to own this shit, how to go in there. And I'm not the smartest. I'm not that, but that's just always been my mentality. So I go into Relativity Records. It's 10 Jewish dudes, and I'm sitting in there, and they start using fancy words. And within an hour, I start realizing, oh, they mean this, they mean that, they mean this, they mean that. Because you got to buy the work, you got to cut it up, you got to promote it, you got to give samples out. We used to do something when we hustle. And look, I'm not proud about this, guys, but I'm just telling you my
Why you
story.
think the BX name him Cook Coke?
Somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game, right?
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
used to
saying?
walk down the street and go sample, sample, sample when I got a new batch of fresh product.
Like the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Real talk. So I would go sample and I would have maybe like $300 worth of dope. And the dope fiends would follow me. And I give it to them and I ask them, is it good? Is it a 9? Is it a 10? What's the count? How does it feel? How's it coming down?
Those are the analytics.
Yeah, I never got high. Analytics.
Taking analytics.
And I'm more
Customer
oh, this is
rating.
good shit. And we out. You know what I'm saying? And then, and so we had to market, promote. They knew the new package was in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I get up in the music business, I know what the fuck they talking about. I'm sitting there like, oh, they talking about samples. You gotta give out promo CDs.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's like, yo, if we just shifted the same disciplines in other mediums, we could be super successful, right? We talk about that with Trap. It was like, yo, he's saying, yo, the dope game just like the Wall Street game. Like, it's the same disciplines.
It's all parables.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
if
all-
you've learned it there, you can apply it somewhere else. And so, like, you saying it.
So I've met billionaires. Okay? This is what I was gonna try to do. It ain't about Harvard. It ain't about Harvard. It ain't about an education. I'm being real with you. Should you have people with that education around you to protect you and talk the language you don't know how to talk? But I met so many billionaires that they just have that. They have that niche. So I met a guy. I know a guy. He's beyond a billionaire. He owned this spot in Miami. I don't want to tell his business like that, but he owned a spot in Miami where they made cooking gowns like your grandmother batas. They call batas. So over here's a lot of Latinos. So you know how your grandmother used to cook in the thing with the long
Like the
dress?
apron.
The apron shit.
Yeah.
Not an apron, but the dress.
Okay.
That when she cook on Sunday, Saturday, soul food cooking, they all got them, right? He made that, right? He made a store doing that. Old people behind the thing. He learned business through there. Next thing you know, the next store, they own perfume thing. He wound up buying that business. So he's selling the perfume thing. Now he figures out where they sell it in the factory in Switzerland or whatever. And then next thing you know, he started just buying companies off of know-how and flipping them and selling them. And now he's a billionaire. He never went to Harvard. He never went to none of that shit. He just learned how to play this game and kept flipping it. And now they look at him like he's the greatest genius you ever seen in life He don't talk the same language as these people,
Yeah.
but he gets shit done. You know, I got another friend. She owns a company called a Latina. It's called It's a 10 hair products. She was a beautician. She was doing girls' hairs. She ain't like the product she was using. She invented her own shampoo. They call it liquid gold. The shit blew out of control. She makes $400 million a year. So it's not about Harvard or Yale or none of that shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
that's a fact.
What make you fat?
you
to us?
smart, you smart.
Yeah, that's what we say all the time. It's about the education that you get outside of school.
Exactly.
Listen to 50 Cent is the new Aaron Spelling.
Why
50
not?
Cent got like 20 shows on TV, bro. and he's from the projects in Southside Jamaica, Queens. He just knew business. He got in there, he studied the business, and he applied the shit from the street in this. And as long as, because the hardest thing is, and tonight on my show, I got Lee Daniels, and I watched a couple of interviews of his. And he keeps saying, because they wouldn't let us in, because they wouldn't let us in. And that's the point. The point is a lot of people have ideas, creative ideas. Who can actually make them happen? You know, who can get in there when they say they won't let us in?
As far as diversifying, so I never forget when you licked the sneakers.
Oh my
That was
God.
a legendary moment.
MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was the Jordans. What Jordans was it?
It didn't matter. It was,
Barcelona's.
Yeah. So you licked the sneakers. So obviously everybody knows that you've been a sneakerhead for a long time. And I believe you had a sneaker store when you was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's come full circle where you got Up NYC. Talk about that.
It's a brand you can trust, baby. We the biggest for Latino and the Black community, period, in New York City. So, you know, our kids always got to seem to be going all the way downtown to get the fly sneakers, or get the fly shit. You walk in the stores in our hood, there's fucking rust leaking off the ceiling. You know, they treat us like, you know, we ain't shit. Yet and still they make enough money to go live in Alpine and Tenafly and mansions and shit like that off of our hood, right? So it was a natural progression saying that I love sneakers so much and I'm a sneaker, you know, collector. But to open up back in our community and show people, a lot of artists, they get up and they run away.
Mhm.
Like we never see them again. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what Fat Joe has ever been about. So to open back up, and like you said, it is a major key, making everybody your partner. You know what I'm saying? You go to my store now, you see the guy behind the counter, he got a Rolex on like your shit. Hands outside. No, I'm telling you the truth. Go in there. Y'all from New York, walk in there.
Yeah.
They got Rolexes on, they got Benz outside, look like they trapping.
Marble floors.
No, because marble floor, because
Yeah.
I got to make sure they don't steal from me.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got to take care of them enough
Feed the
and make them
wolves.
feel
If
like
you don't
this is
feed-
yours so they won't
right.
steal from me.
You don't feed
You don't
your
feed the
wolves,
wolves,
they're going to put you on the menu. That's
Shout
a
out to
Simple
me.
as that. You don't feed the wolves, they're going to put you on the menu. I ain't never hear it like that, but that is a fact. And so that's what I do. I make sure everybody happy.
Yeah.
And when it's my birthday, they buy me shit. Like they chipped in for this watch for me. Some of them.
It's called a chandelier.
Call the chandelier.
You can't call it a watch, Joe.
It's called a chandelier.
So what's the vision for it? Because we interviewed Killer Mike and he was like his vision for his barbershops is to like franchise it and have like a barbershop in every major city. Is your vision to have it like what's the sneaker store?
Yeah, I want to open
Fight
up
Club?
like a
Fight Club?
like not Flight Club because they resell.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're actually smarter than me. So let's get the concept going.
But I don't know. I don't think so, right? Because there are people. I'm a sneakerhead myself, but it's like, yo, sometimes you just want the sneaker. Like these people
Yeah, but
just
they
buy.
Uberized the sneaker game.
Right.
So what they do is they rent the spot and they tell you, yo, bring your sneaker. I'm gonna get 20% if I sell it for whatever you want to sell it for. And if you say y'all want $1,000 for that sneaker, they get their $200 off the sale. They never had to buy the sneaker.
Mhm.
They never owned the sneaker. They just making PC. They like the house. Like if it's a gambling spot.
Yeah.
Low inventory,
And-
low cost
Yeah.
operation.
So
Yeah.
with me, it's different. With us, we got accounts, Jordan, Nike accounts and stuff like that. So we got to play by the rules.
Yeah.
We can't resell. We can't sell
Mark it up.
more than the
Yeah.
box. We can't, which we're grateful. But the answer to you is I want to open up about 10 of them. Like I'm actually moving back to New York right now. I'm in the process.
Full time?
Full time.
All right.
So just totally focus on my sneaker stores and the side business. I want to open up a fun business. See, me, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Right? So now anybody who watches your show, they probably done heard the smartest people come in here and talk. Me, you could call me dumb because I'm like Bugsy Siegel. I will go to the desert and build Vegas. I don't give a fuck. If I lose, I lose. If I win, hey, we're geniuses.
Ace of spade.
That's me. I'm not scared of money.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of money. I'm not scared of money. So with me, I want to open a business. I don't know if I should talk about it, but it's gonna be personal. And I'm gonna work there. I'm gonna work at the shop.
You're gonna work at
I'm gonna run the shop in New York City. I'm gonna run the shop.
like on some day-to-day vibe?
Some day-to-day vibe.
So you come in.
I want to open up. You know, I'm pre-diabetic. I've been diabetic since I was 14. I want to open up a bakery that's strictly for diabetics. No sugar, low sugar. For the kids that are struggling with weight issues, people who are healthy, who want stuff like that. There's never been a bakery where it's actually tastes delicious and you get, you know, and now they got monk fruit sugar. They got all different types of
We should connect
artificial flavors.
We should connect him with
Please do.
So Jay-Z invested in this company.
Oh my gosh.
And I forgot the woman's name. We interviewed her too. But her kid had a food allergy.
Yep.
She quit her corporate job where she was making a nice amount of money, and she started a line of
it was started as cookies.
Of cookies.
Yeah.
And it has like the non-allergenic thing, the vegan thing, the no
the type
all of
of thing
that.
I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it for pretty much low sugar intake, close to no sugar,
That's dope.
low sugar, but tastes delicious. And I want to work there.
Yeah.
I want to be behind the counter with the little fucking
the chef hat.
chef hat, and I'm in there.
Chef Boyard Joe.
And they think I'm crazy. Khaled thinks I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, okay, go to Fat Joe Sugar Free. You know what I'm saying? And I'm behind that counter, you're going to see. And it's going to change the game because at the end of the day, you know, the health crisis in America, especially in the Black and Latino community, has a lot to deal with sugar issues.
Your diet.
Yeah.
So we got to start educating them and make stuff that's tasty so that I know if I have that option, you know, I would prefer that rather than, you know, fucking myself up.
I feel like you've done that, man, especially in the health side. It used to be Fat Joe, and now it's like, yeah, we just got to call him Joe. He's lost so much weight.
Flacco.
Yeah.
I got to be Flacco Word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
Because
I feel like you've always given back. So you said that you want to do that for the kids, but I heard the story where you did that with the sneakers too. It was your love for sneakers and your love for kids, and you said, you know what, I'm gonna go back to the schools in the Bronx, and as an incentive for them to improve their grades, as an incentive to improve behavior, I'm giving sneakers to the entire school. So how did that go?
Sneakers to the class, the number one class who improved in reading, grades, and behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And tardiness, right?
That's a big one.
And so, the bullies became the geniuses. The bullies in the school, the kids that was the biggest problem, this, that, man, I went up in there and we did it to, 10 schools or something with Ruben Diaz Jr., the Bronx
Borough
president.
Yep.
And when you see the guys that won, and these guys as bullies, they start crying. I used to come here and start with people, and now I love my classmates, and I'm so proud of my class. And I knew that because I had, like I told you, I came up real tough. And I had you told Fat Joey from Forest Projects, it was a chance he could have won some Jordan sneakers, but I'd have been A+ student. You know what I'm saying? So it really, the empirical data was incredible. The grades shot up, to just everybody competed for it. Unfortunately, I couldn't give it to every kid in the school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it'd be too expensive, but it was really great.
Yeah.
And what we do a lot is we constantly giving back.
Right.
Like constantly giving back. You know, the Thanksgivings, not the Thanksgivings, the Christmas, 1,000 families, groceries. I'm not talking about just the groceries for the thing. We try to do as much as we can. You know, COVID-19 hit our community bad. The kids couldn't go to school, so they needed laptops. We bought tons of laptops and donated it to the schools. Shit we don't even talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? We all blessed. You know, when we can wake up and eat lobster or steak if we want, you really blessed. So we like to give back as much as we can to our community. So it's almost become, my stores have almost become a hub to how you can get in touch with Fat Joe.
Pull up.
See if you get them to donate some shit.
In a few years, they'll know exactly where to go.
Yeah. They be like, yo, what's going there, yo? Tell the big man, yo, I got some shit I got to talk to him about. Some autistic kids. I know his son is autistic. And they work that shit, and then they wind up getting a meeting with me, and we wind up donating shit.
It's a beautiful, That's a beautiful thing, man.
Let me ask you this. Two questions about rap. How important is it to diversify? We talk about multiple streams of income a lot, right? But your rap, I mean, you're blessed 30 years in the game. I feel like rap is like football. The average rapper's career is like 3 years. Yeah, running back in football is like 3 years, right? So you're getting money for a short period of time, but now when it stops, it's over. This is why a lot of athletes go broke, because it's like no matter even if you make 10 million, you're living like you make 10 million, which is cool while you're making 10 million, but then you go from making 10 million to zero. So how important is that to diversify and have other stuff going?
First of all, you got to believe it. You got to live in your truth. You got to believe it. You got to live in reality. And so it's hard from us because we realize I went broke 3 times. Millions after getting millions. $10 million broke. $4 million broke.
How'd that happen?
Wait, because
balling, nigga. Like,
Get him said, bring the yacht. After
the yacht. It's a chandelier.
More bottle.
You think
I'm saying after the first time, you wasn't like, all right, a hard stop.
Bro, I walked out that bank. My asshole was so tight. My head felt like you beat me to death with this fucking mic. I was like a dolphin with a hole in my head. Shit was different. That shit was buzzing. Like, Lady was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Cartagena. Because I used to go there every day for like 50,000 cash. Every day in the bank. Give me 50,000 cash. Give me 30,000 cash. Give me 50,000 cash. You think you can't run out of that shit. And one day I went there. I'll never forget. It was across the street from Yankee Stadium, that bank, that Chase. She said, must be a problem. Money in here, Mr. Cartagena. I was like, I walked out of there. I was like,
I'm about to pass out.
and I had to go back at it. And I remember I got on my knees and I prayed to God every day, and like on the knees,
like negotiating. If you just
one
more time,
I'll never do it again.
I won't do this again.
On the knees, man.
The God negotiation.
Not just praying. You can pray anywhere, but on the knees, staring at the Jesus poster, like, please, God, please don't let me go out like that. And from the drug game to any other game, I watch people have runs and have their money and then lose it. They be like, yeah, he used to have it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, the only thing people seem to respect is the bag that you got money. It's the only difference of Fat Joe walking in here than another old school rapper that came out with Joe is missing his front teeth. When Joe come in here, he smelled good. He still fly. He did this. Oh, he got the bag. Respect this man. Let's talk about this.
Respect the bag.
So,
gotta respect the bag.
What's the catalyst that brings you back? Well, at that time, each time, is it like, yo, lean back, take me out of here? I feel like you are consistent with like, yo, you're gonna give us an anthem.
But that's not easy, bro.
I know. I mean, we don't see it. We don't see it.
No.
We don't see it.
I tell people it's lucky. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because to have one hit record is a miracle.
That's a fact.
A fucking miracle. I always say I'd rather be a one-hit wonder than a no-hit wonder. Like, at least, you got a hit, you walk the red carpet, you see your favorite, might even fuck one of the most famous R&B chicks or something.
If you're
Who
lucky.
knows? You get money, then you run out of it. It is, but you did it.
Yeah.
Right? And then another thing, to rap forever and never get a hit. And so, but to constantly do it over and over and over and over and over again. My single goes for ads on Tuesday for radio and urban, and so I got to work.
Let's talk about that right now before the call. So that song that you got right now is my favorite song out right now. I've said it several times.
That's
you got one. You got another one.
That vibe, yeah. So it's like,
so that's quarantine music. That's D Nice.
It's a mashup. It started as a mashup, right?
It started as a mashup with the young Amorphous
kid.
DJs.
Yep.
Fucking incredible. The
18.
Genius. And the way he mixes his shit is adequate. I don't want to overhype him. He's nasty.
He told me. I didn't know about him.
Yeah,
no.
It's different. Is it?
He's a
I don't know.
freak of nature.
He must have a program where he's studying the beats per minute because the way it blends sounds like that should have been the record.
Yeah.
Now, how do you get that sample? Because that's like Rihanna's sample, it's
All right,
a
I'ma
Luther
tell you,
sample.
so that's business. Like, exactly. So Dre heard him, and Dre was like, yo, you will not fucking believe this. I was like, what you saying? I was in the Bahamas on vacation. He was like, yo, I want to send you some shit. So he sends me a clip of the kid playing the music.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck? That shit is crazy. And then Dre calls me back. He said, yo, I'm going to produce that shit. It's one thing to DJ.
Yeah.
It's another thing to produce. The snare, the this, the that,
Right.
the right loop, the right, produce. So Dre produced it. And I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. So then we got back from vacation and we did it in Khaled Studio. So now Khaled Studio different from mine. Khaled Studio got palm trees. They give you cappuccinos while you're recording. Nah, it's a movie. Smells like $1 billion. You're looking at water and shit. Like, it's different. So Khaled's in there with me. Dre's in there with me. And we actually wrote the song together. Like, and the last time we did that was Lean Back. The very last time DJ Khaled, Cool and Dre sat down and plotted on a record was Lean Back. Because after that, Khaled got his career. I do my thing. They do their thing. The last time we collaborated and plotted was Lean Back. So we up in there and Khaled comes back with, well, back to Take Goes. You're rolling in the sky. My guys to Take Goes. I'm like, oh, shit, Khaled. So,
Khaled made that?
Yeah, he came up with that one line. Back to Take Goes.
So you're rolling in the sky, my guys to take
guys
those?
to
That's
take
hard because
those.
that's the big play. Throw your rollies in the sky.
Yeah,
Side to
So
side.
we was like in his zone, and then he's down as a writer.
That's hard. I didn't know that.
That's hard. That's hard.
He
That's
came up
hard.
with that line. He came up with that
That's
line.
hard.
So I go, boom. So we up in there, and we do it. Then I call a kid. I DM the kid. The kid calls me back, and we video it. And I'm like, yo. He's like, yo, what's up? I said, I seen what you've been doing, this, that. Then I play it for him. I said, listen, we're going to give you the look. We're going to bring you for the video. You're going to be in as a writer, a publisher. You're going to get paid. Like, come on, man. We
Take
can't
care of
exploit
everybody.
the youth, bro.
Yeah, take care of everybody.
He's my partner now.
Yeah.
Now you know him. His following with the young
Crazy.
kids. He's going
He's
crazy out there with the
crazy.
young kids. The young kids is reposting the shit, this, that. Because they said, yo, they ain't fuck him.
Yeah.
They ain't fuck him. That's what I mean by partnership. Everybody together win. We all got to win. I learned that from the Billies. I learned that from the billionaires. Everybody got to win.
Yeah.
Everybody, you cannot win on your own, bro. It just won't happen. Everybody got to win it. And us, we like to be like little kids that when you play with the ball, you me.
Yeah.
Me. Nah, B, you got to pass that shit on,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you do that effortlessly. Your relationship with Khaled, we can see it, obviously. Cool and Dre, we can see that. So we got the Rihanna thing cleared.
What time you got to do that for?
Now.
All right. I was just going to.
Oh, well, the Rihanna thing.
We got that cleared.
And Luther.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Luther
saying.
don't clear either.
Exactly. So how did that go?
Luther's my idol, man. Luther's my favorite singer of all time. And I do believe because I sent those vibrations out my whole life. So I've done like big interviews, bro, like MTV Awards, whatever, like big shit. You can Google it. I've always put him even before Michael Jackson. The last thing I'm thinking is his family is seeing this. And the Fat Joe's a big figure. So I'm thinking they seeing this because they don't clear his sample.
Right.
So then when the sample guy goes to them and said, yo, we got a sample, they're like, well, we don't really clear, but who's it for? And then he was like, it's for Fat Joe. They said, oh, we want to do this.
The light.
Good
The
comment.
light.
Light.
The light.
Good karma. They like, no, we Fat Joe, they was like, we want to do this. And then they had known about the amorphous mashup. And it was like, we love that little kid too. And Joe's doing it with the kid. And then, yeah. And then, is Rihanna going to clear this? And that was like, and then it was just, she cleared it. It wasn't a problem.
No problem.
That's it.
And she sent the message. She sent a message to my publisher. They said they cleared it, and she wants you to know she loves Fat Joe.
Everybody loves Joey Crack.
And I love Rihanna, bro.
Everybody loves Rihanna.
Jeez.
Yeah, that kid gonna make a killing, bro.
How's everybody doing?
I hear my man Joey on
It's the big show, man. What's going on, baby? How's my family doing out there? Well, listen, let me tell you, man, I appreciate y'all, what y'all done for me my whole entire life. You know, I'm indebted to y'all. You guys have always supported me. Kobe, you gave me my first show ever, Flojo, in Camden. I know we don't want to bore people with the story, but my first show ever was you. You know, I love you. We a family. And you know, I got this new song out, and all I'm trying to do is uplift the people and bring the light out and make people have a fun time. You know, we lost a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are depressed. They lost their jobs. And all I try to do is make a song. This is the first song I have ever made to just really bring joy in people's lives.
The biggest in the game. So
In the business in action.
So yeah. So that what just happened, the interlude. All right, tell us what just happened, because that was dope to actually witness that.
Yeah, all right. It's there's different radio groups. So there's different radio groups. There's Radio 1 is one, and then we got Doc Winters, and so you know they own like 30, 40 radio stations.
Like Clear Channel?
Clear Channel is a little bit
Smaller, right?
smaller,
Okay.
but it's big like that too. Clear Channel is big. And then, and so that was the call before, you know, every week they add new records to radio. So that was the call with like maybe 20 program directors. These are the guys who pretty much are the Wizard of Oz. They pick the records
saying
that's
which
going to get
records.
played. So every artist goes and makes a plea to them and tell them what their music's about and could you support us? And sometimes they support, sometimes they don't. But, you know, Fat Joe's always been active. In COVID, I can't do it. But, you know, I think I'm one of the only artists that's been around as long as me and has been as successful as me that still gets on the road and goes do promo tour and goes to every little milk and cranny radio station. It's crazy because when I talk to him, I just talked to a PD program director from Providence, Rhode Island, 2 days ago. He does rhythmic. And he was like, Joe, you know, you always come in here. And I'm talking to him. I visualize the radio station in Providence. He's like, you always get a Diet Pepsi right there in that first machine. And then you come. And I'm like, yeah, man. And you know, but that is part of it, you know, kissing babies, going around, you know, and knowing everybody from the mailman to the boss. And that's where some people mess up because, you know, and that's when you move out with the regime. This is all about business. Regimes means if somebody's the boss and you walk past everybody, you think your shit don't stink. You up there and you in with the boss. And the boss is the boss for 5 years, 10 years, and you sit in the plush couch. When they fire that guy, you go with him. You're done.
So that's like when he was like, Puerto Rico 3 days poly with the PDs. Now they got my shit on replay.
That's exactly what he meant. He went out there, everybody, whoever you name, Beyonce, anybody. Like, you know, we need these guys. You know what I mean? The way you get more streams, you generate more money, more fame, popularity, the song blows up, it is through these guys playing your music. So, you know, you got, you know, smart artists, politic with them. The difference with the young artists now, they're more streaming artists as to radio artists. So they feel like they don't have to have a relationship with these radio guys or whatever. They just put their music out,
Let it go.
and it streams. You know, I believe in networking in any business you in, and you basically as good as your last relationship.
So you talk about this a lot, about the diversification of your career. You said it's like a pizza pie. So you had managing careers. You were obviously the executive. You started acting a little bit. Hopefully we're going to see more of that.
1, 2, 2.
And then obviously the sneaker stores. But touring has been obviously with COVID out of the mix. And so you become a huge, I mean, you were obviously Joe Crap before, but like on Instagram.
Tell them how big, man.
the big.
I love that shit.
The big show.
I remember forgetting.
You know, I don't get high, guys. I only get high off of like accolades, and you big me up. I'm smoking.
Now, I'm gonna
crack
let you
now.
finish, but I used to play ball, so I'm a huge basketball fan.
Let's do that.
And I never forget. this is when the tournament on 145th was popping. What was the name? When Mousy started the tournament.
Tri-State.
Tri-State. So that's the first time I actually had seen him. And I already knew it was him because it was a Phantom. It's in the middle of Harlem. I already knew.
I wonder who that could be.
But I'll never forget the legendary Rucker situation. I was actually there for that. And with the Jay-Z situation.
Blackout.
And the blackout day. Well, the next day after the blackout. And I was.
You mean when I won the championship?
Championship, yeah.
Don't forget that part.
No, I was
Who
there.
I had to play to win the
Back to back.
championship?
I was there. And
Actually, 7 championships. But yeah.
I was there. And Joe.
As a coach.
At that,
As a player, I sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe was there, like 50 deep with the big TS chain. And, Brooklyn was heavy there. Like, Brooklyn came heavy. And he was like, yo, Jay, he was like, where your man at? I'm here.
Listen.
He was out there, huh?
That was a legendary
That was an
moment.
ugly time.
Legendary
I got on
moment.
the mic and started dissing him.
That guy you're referring to.
Nah, but that was I say that to say, yeah, that was great times just to witness that. Because it was like, you see a lot of people you don't see in person. Like some people you might
So
not
what
ever
you were
see.
saying when Joe was acting like that, you say he's the real motherfucker. This guy's
Right in the middle of it.
Huh?
No, right in the middle
Right
of
in
it.
the middle of the shit, like, yo, what's up? Like, let's go.
Cut from that, yeah. Cut from
I think that I'm not the real. I'm not the real. Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
That's a fact.
And so I know Brooklyn got mad at me that day. They were like, this motherfucker out here flexing for real. And I was just really offended, because I was like, I had pretty much revitalized the Rucker.
Mm-hmm.
The Rucker had fell off for a couple of years, so I started putting in, and it was bad business 101 if you're an artist watching. I loved the Rucker so much and coaching the kids out there that I wouldn't do no shows in the summer. Meanwhile, What's Love is #1 in the world. And they offer me $150,000 to do a show and tours, and I'm like, nah, I got to coach
At a game.
at the Rucker.
And Steph coming too.
Yeah, Steph coming every game. So it's like, I'm like, I was out there and I put my heart into rebuilding this thing, and then here come Jay-Z. And Jay-Z, he win everything. Richest guy.
Not this
He got
time.
the most beautiful chick in the world.
This
He
time.
got, this guy just can't fucking lose, right? So he coming up in there, he had to know when he was coming in the Rucker, it was going to be a Fat Joe Jay-Z situation. Plus we had unspeakable things in the past,
Yeah. It's a history.
right?
Yep.
It was a big history, and then it all calmed down, and then he comes to the Rucker. So I'm like, I'm still young, I'm still on my bullshit, and so he's coming in. I win the game, and he got the next game. He's walking in. It's fucking Beyonce walking right behind me. I'm like, what the fuck? Diddy's dancing in the middle of the court. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker came to take my shit. Straight up. I'm like, he came to take my shit.
Yeah.
I had this shit on lock, right? And once he come in, I'll tell you something that happened to me that day that I had never seen. I was the king of the Rucker. I brought it back. Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, whoever you thought of, I brought them out there. I brought this whole shit up. When I walked in that park that day, I seen a bunch of motherfuckers go like this.
Nah, I was there. That's what I said. Cause I was there.
I never seen some people turn their back on me so fast.
No,
they was like this.
No,
I was like,
I was there. And I remember you got mad. He was like, where your man at? He was like, Brooklyn. He's like, where your man at?
Brooklyn motherfuckers was waiting.
Legendary moment. Cause you was on the radio. I
Right
heard
after.
the night before. With
That
Flex.
made it even.
I felt he came up there with
It was the night before.
That
with
made it
Flex
even worse.
And Jay. They was on the phone call. And I think OG won. And they was on the phone call.
OG won. Flex, Jay,
And
Steve
Shaq
Stout.
and Shaq called.
Shaq called them.
Talking crazy.
But Shaq was lying because he wasn't there. And so I interviewed him recently for the Big show. And I said, yo, Shaq, man, how could you go against me? He said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was not there. I was not going to play against you. Now, if Shaq wasn't there, we would have won that game. They had LeBron if he was coming, but he was straight out of high school. I had Carmelo.
They didn't really have. They had Lou Flores. No, I'm a basketball fan. Like I know. I
Was
played.
LeBron with y'all? Because I heard
LeBron was with them.
with them. Yeah.
Because
He was straight out of high school.
Right.
my man Francisco Garcia. Shout out to Cisco.
Yeah, I know
Louisville.
Francisco.
I know who they had. They had Sebastian Telford. They had they didn't have it. He had a way better team.
Don't forget Bron.
LeBron wasn't there.
I'm saying that's who was supposed to be.
But
on
I'm
that
saying
team.
the people that was physically there.
You had Al Harrington.
I had Al
Stephon
Hamilton,
Marbury.
Stephon Marbury.
A Butter.
In the shout out my brother A Butter. In the hotel room on 57th Street, I had AI and Mike Bibby.
Ooh, that's your guy.
This is when they both was, you know,
Yeah.
the biggest,
Yeah.
right? So they was down there waiting for me. So I was gonna bring them in at halftime, AI and Mike Bibby, just to fuck the park up. Straight Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? Coming at halftime, AI, Mike Bibby. We had Zach Randolph. We had Steph. We had Al Harrington.
Al Harrington.
Yeah.
He was there in the warm-up line.
Carmelo was on standby. He was coming too. I mean, we were smashing them.
Real
No
done.
way around it.
Real done.
And my regular team, you know, Rayford Alston, A Butter,
Kareem Reed.
You know, we had them boys out there.
I mean, he's the longest tenure person that played with you.
Yeah, Fat Joe would have never won a chip without Kareem.
You're not putting the team in Dykeman? His biggest.
I'll get to that. His IQ was smarter than everybody. So what I learned about basketball players is you could get the best physical guy could jump to the moon and back, but if they dumb, when the chip is on the line, they gonna fuck it up. They gonna stink it up. Now you can get somebody who's very, 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 very talented, and if they're smart, Kobe was smart. You know, smart players. If they smart, Chris Paul, shit like that, they make the right play at the end to win the chip.
LeBron.
How are they when you're? Because I'm not imagining now. I'm like in the huddle in my mind. Like when you're coaching these professionals, like what's like they're like, all right, Joe, we got you.
No, they know I'm not playing.
Ooh,
I take this serious.
yeah.
You can see it. My veins pop out, my head over here. They know I'm worse than their coach because their coach, the coach looks at them like, yo, this guy's worth $100 million. What the fuck I'm telling them? Fat Joe screaming on nigga. Yo, don't come here. If you want to be pussy, you take that shit to the bar, nigga. This, that. No, I'm going crazy. And then one day, J.R. Smith came out there, played against us. He might have scored 15 points in a row like he was
cooking.
This one, he was on one.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was in the huddle and I love J.R. Smith. I was like, hurt that nigga. And they were like, yo, what do you mean?
Birdie's revenge.
Hit that nigga. He come up in there, they hit that boy about 3-4 times. The rest of the game, he was shooting 3-pointers. He ain't never come to that basket again. I was like, fuck that. Hit him. Hit him. He got to feel that motherfucker. Then we had my brother Raul. I don't know if you know Raul. My brother Raul, he wear the big TSJ. So Raul was a bruiser. He don't even know basketball. We sent him in there certain games where
just to hurt
he
you.
has to just hack a nigga. He come up in there, he'd be the only Puerto Rican on the team. When he come up in there, the whole team start laughing like, oh shit, Raul going in there to hurt a motherfucker.
We know what time it is.
He gonna make a feel it. And one, but you gonna feel that shit. They already know. Yo, why you throwing this nigga in there, man?
Rick Mahorn is the
like
team. Yeah.
Bill Lambier.
Yeah.
Both.
No, it's crazy. That is a fact, man. Raul used to throw a little. He had a big TS. We throw the jersey on him. Yo, go in there, Raul. Take the blunt out of his hand. Raul knew he had to hit a nigga about 3-4 times. Come back out. All right, they know to keep it. You know, you ain't doing all that shit against us.
So that was a great detour. So I want to get to what was going on now with the big show, because it's like it was a perfect time, and obviously everybody's home, everybody's on IG, and I'm trying to figure what made you decide to say, you know what, I'm probably one of the greatest storytellers that this game has ever seen. I need to share these stories with the world via IG. What was that process like?
I've always been one of the greatest storytellers in the world, and so when you get somebody like Kanye West who calls me just to tell him stories in the studio.
Like, tell me a story? Kanye different. Yo, Joe, tell me a story, please.
I need inspiration right now.
Pharrell used to call me to the studio just to, he'd be sitting there like yoga. Like, tell me a drug dealer story. Tell me, y'all, some shit over here about, and I've always been behind the scenes the best, one of the best. So I give it 3. I give Nori, I give Irv Gotti, and I give Fat Joe the best.
You know what we got throwing there? The best story that we've come across.
Oh, like personally, I thought you saw my music.
We've come across personally. Chris Gotti.
He's,
No, his
Oh yeah,
story-
same thing.
he's dynamic.
His story
But
is
he's not.
legendary.
He's
dynamic.
No, it's
but-
legendary.
No, he is legendary, but he's not better than Irv. Irv is the one.
Yeah, we ain't mean we
I haven't met
Yeah, Irv is the
yeah.
But
greatest.
Chris is
Yeah, he can. But
Hours.
I'll tell you what,
hours.
We talking Chris and Irv, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that family. So, you know, we always been the best storytellers. And I've always known that. I've had the ability to 50 Cent just told me that the other day. I've always had the ability to, like, when I tell you something, you can actually see it. That's actually how I've always made my music too. Because my best friend is in jail for life, right? So I always made my music and wonder where would it take him in his cell? Like, he could turn on his headphones and he listen and he feel like he's there. You get what I'm saying? And that's how I've always done my stories. It's like, you know, just to take you there. Like you could feel like, yo, I was really there. That shit crazy. He's explaining it. I could see the shit. You know what I'm saying? In your own mind. And the big show was, it was COVID. Really, really scared. You know, I'm pre-diabetic. The shit was just killing every fat dude in the world I knew. Every diabetic, everything scary. I'm stuck home. I wouldn't go outside. I would not go outside, right? And then one day I put on my live and I had fun, was talking shit. And then my daughter and Dre was like, yo, you need to go on again tomorrow. All right. And next thing I know, 3 days later, we had a show. We was like, yo, it's the big show. It's on every day at 8 o'clock. And we got sponsorship.
Right. So now that goes, the touring money now becomes sponsorship money in a sense.
Yeah. I might have made as much money as I made.
Let me think. Maybe, perhaps.
Perhaps.
I might have equaled my tour money without touring, staying home, just doing like the big show. And that has led it to other things. You know, we did Triller, Wild Cherry Pepsi, a talent show. You know, it just led into all this, like, you know, people are like, oh, he's social media. He's, you know what I'm saying? So it
Just
led
snowball
into
from there.
a bunch of bags.
And the people that watch you now, it's not like, yo, they know you from music. They know you from this. It's like, yo, this is the personality. This is a show.
And there was
transcends
always
music.
a big injustice, you know, to the fans. Because when I grew up, like you see in my lifestyle, I said, back then when I wouldn't even pose for pictures.
When I said my
you know how many
lifestyle,
times I was around?
never seen a brick, never seen a crack house.
You know how many times I've been next to Tupac and Biggie, and it was like the whack shit to ask for a pic. Like, and so everything at that time was about privacy. I would literally come, if I came in here years ago, and they was having an event, I was standing in the corner because I didn't know y'all. Y'all would be like, yo, that's one mean motherfucker. And I would just sit there and just be like, it didn't allow us to be our true personality. And as years went by and through social media, everybody could open up and do a little something. You know how many people just heard my music, but now they see the show and be like, damn, I ain't know this dude was there. That's yo crazy, man.
Yeah,
Funny
that's a fact,
motherfucker,
yeah.
this guy. Like,
Been doing it for a minute.
yeah, and it's so it allows me to show you my real personality.
That's dope. That's
Joe,
dope.
before we end it, I want to go on a teachable moment. That's a finance moment. It's an unfortunate moment, but I think people can learn from it. When you went to jail for a couple of months, and from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, that's finance related because I guess your CPA wasn't paying the taxes.
That was the one time I didn't do the crime. I've done many crimes. Yo, what y'all want me to do? I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
That's the one time I did not do the crime. It's the craziest shit in the world.
So what exactly happened?
I had an accountant. Every month I'm sending them wire transfers. Well, wire transfers from your bank account to them is a paper trail. I'm sending them money to pay my taxes and everything every month. You know, 25,000, 40,000, 25,000, big money. And one day I go to buy a car. And so I was more embarrassed than anything. So the guy from the car dealership was like, yo, are you sitting down? And I'm laughing. Yeah. He's like, says here you haven't paid for none of your houses, your mortgages. Says here you haven't paid none of your car notes. Says here, I'm like, are you crazy? Like, are you nuts? So I call up the accountant. And when I called him up, he said, don't kill me, don't kill me. I said, I never threatened you, bro. Don't kill me. I said, bro, I send you wire transfers every month. It's saying you ain't paying my shit. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, boom. So from that point, I had to go call Pitbull. Pitbull gave me his account right around here, who's still my accountant. To this day, when I went there, they was like, yo, this is bad, yo. This man ain't pay your taxes in 2 years. And so we contacted the IRS and told them, yo, we have an accountant. We got the proof, the wire transfers. You know, we want to pay up to date. We alarmed them. And so the next day, they came to my house. I was in the studio with Cool and Trey. And my wife calls me all nervous. She's like, Joe, the feds are here. I'm like, the feds? Well, you know, I don't know what they're there for, right? So I'm like, the feds. I was like, yo, put them on the phone. So the guy gets on the phone and says, Joe, where you at? I said, what you mean where I'm at? Like, yeah, we want to talk to you. Where you at? I said, well, about what? He said, you know, the taxes. I was like, oh, yeah, you know, we contacted you. You know, my accountant, we contacted you. He was like, no, this is criminal. So now I know.
Stop talking.
It's over.
Drop the phone.
Once he said it's criminal, I was like, yo. I said, you know what? Officer, I'm going to have my lawyer call you right after this. He was like, but where you at? I said, bro, you in my house, bro, with my family. I can't go nowhere. I'm Fat Joe. I'm famous. My lawyer call you. So my lawyer called him. Long story short, my lawyer met with them and showed them the wire transfers that the guy robbed me and didn't pay my shit. And they was like, hey, man, we believe Joe, as the leader of his household, is responsible for who he hires. And so instead of trying to really rock him, we're going to give him 2 misdemeanors and he could get 2 years in jail or get probation. Press your luck. So I wound up I already gave this dude the money to pay. So I wound up paying these taxes again that I already paid before my court date. So I wound up paying $1,200,000 before I go see the judge. So now I know other people who had these problems that only got probation and never went to jail or whatever. So with the greatest letters you ever heard in your life, with the feds, you won't vouch for him in the feds. You won't. If you knew he was guilty, you'd be like, yo, bro, you on your own with the shit.
God bless.
Nobody writes a letter for nobody in the feds. Nobody. They be like, yo, peace to the Garcia.
Peace to the Garcia.
Yeah. Peace to the Garcia when you get home, bro. Like,
I'm gonna hold you down out here, bro.
nah, yeah. Like, I ain't got shit to do with this. Cause you know, we all know that the Fed, you get niggas hot. That's how it happens. You get me high, I get him high, he get him. Stay away, right? The letters they wrote for me, I never realized I had donated so much money to people. It was like, so there was a guy, when he was in prison, his name is Terrence. When he was in prison, he noticed that parents and family could not see their kids, you know, due to they didn't have to travel with them. Long story short, I gave this guy a bus, right? AIDS Society, hundreds of thousands, hurricanes in fucking Santo Domingo and Haiti, hundreds of thousands. Like, and so all these people were writing letters on my behalf, like, yo, this guy's the best. This guy gives back to the schools, computers, this guy, this. I don't know how I went to jail, bro. And so the lady was like, listen, you're a great guy. Actually, you're remarkable. And you should, this is what she fucked me up at, but you can't really argue with the judge, right? When they're about to give you time. So she says, your new wealth should be found with your families and your friends. And my family was in there. My friends and family was in the courtroom like 300 deep. Like, they shut that bitch down. Khaled was in there, everybody, you know, aunts and uncles. You know how you got them aunts and uncles that never leave that crib, that never leave that hood? They was in that motherfucker for me. And my family was in there deep. Nigga flew in from Florida, them niggas was in there like, yo, boom. So she was like, I gotta give you this time. And so they only gave me 4 months, but, and when I walked in there, because I had paid it off, they had gave me a penalty. So they said it was a penalty. There's no way I couldn't cop out if I didn't take this penalty. The penalty was $1.2 million.
You paid $1.2 million in taxes,
2.4,
and then another $1.2 million in a penalty, and you already
Not
actually
to mention $500,000 for the lawyer,
and not to mention
$150,000 for the
money,
forensic.
the money that you already paid previously.
Yeah.
That you thought you actually paid. What happened with that? So he just robbed you? He was just
robbed me.
taking
So
the money and putting it in his bank
into
account?
Bernie Madoff.
Oh, some Ponzi shit.
So Ponzi scheme. So he wound up telling on a bunch of other motherfuckers that
was
he was
bigger than
doing
him.
it with him, and he got away. Like, so, you know, I never heard about him. I never seen him
Oh, he
again.
didn't get jail time?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't even know. They just was like, you can't ask about him.
Oh, damn.
Because, you know, normally I think you could sue him.
Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, he's with us. You can't ask
On
about
some
him.
witness protection type.
And on top of the money that you
section.
lost for actually being incarcerated, you could have been outside making
Making
more
money.
revenue.
So
And so when I come home from jail, because I pretty much do everything but sell my asshole to pay these people before I go to sentencing, right? So when I do 4 months in jail, I come home, I'm working. Africa, Yugoslavia, Poland, China. There wasn't a stone unturned. They had a Fat Joe show, Philippines, like anywhere. I was going to get that bag because I'm not used to, you know, I'll tell you, I've been in the streets since I'm 14. I'm not used to my money being low. I'm not used to my family ever asking. One thing I can say, God bless, my family never realized that we had a problem. Wife was still getting Birkin bags. You know, my daughter was still going to private school. My son to private college. I was busting my ass to make sure everybody. And so at the end of this year, so I do 4 months. When I go to the 8th month, 8 months later, to do my taxes, they're like, congratulations, you had a hell of a year last year. You made $1.2 million. I said, made $1.2 million? I'm broke. What are y'all talking about? Yeah, you made $1.2 million. You just paid us. So now you gotta pay the half on that. So it's just like a spiral.
That's crazy.
It never ending. And thank God when All the Way Up came out, it wasn't like I was all the way up. I made sure they was all the way up. So the first thing I do, I wasn't taking no money. I was just saving. Boom, came to them with that penalty. 1.2 million. Now I'm a free man. Now I'm a normal guy.
Now you're a free man. Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been great, thank God, ever since.
We can't end on that though. Because that story's crazy. But we gotta end on something else you've been consistent in. And that's your fresh.
Or being fly?
I've
been fly since I'm 14.
By any means, you don't miss a day. I told you off.
Detroit Red cleaned up. Kanye got a lot of
them balls.
A lot of them lies.
I go in the stores and I'm just like, yo, man, there's where are you finding these sizes? How does Joey Crack
Shout
stay
out to
fresh?
my stylist, to Relish, on Instagram. He also styles Khaled. And
that's where we getting these silk shirts, y'all.
There's different ways, man. Unfortunately, it's sad to say, but I used to hustle to buy sneakers and buy fly gear.
Mm-hmm.
I came out in the era where everybody was really, really fly. And so we always been, risking our lives to be fly. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm legit and I make enough money to be fly, I'll be like, you are literally going to walk to the casket saying, yo, this thing was fly. And he don't play. And I don't got a problem. I blow the bag. You see them outfits no, I don't.
I told you. I said, yo.
Your wife looked at the
she
video.
Said, yo,
she was right. That was a Birkin bag on my shirt.
She said, Troy,
that was Hermes silk.
That pink silk is different. I said, yo, I don't know where you getting these clothes.
That's some Fendi shit. This linen. I got Hermes sneakers on. I'm like, I love it. I dress up for anything. During COVID, I was coming in downstairs to my house from the second floor to the first. I was coming down with the Get Fresh for no reason.
That's a Cam. Remember, he was like, my man on house arrest, get him fly, and he don't care. In the house, he's fresh. Like,
yo, I'm about to get some cereal. Let me get dressed.
Yo, just cause, just to watch TV, just to watch TV.
New York fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I wanted to welcome y'all to Miami and wear some Fendi, linen shit because I'm in Miami. But New York, I know how to put on a pair of Timbs and some army fatigues and a fly hoodie.
It just it don't feel the same with this Miami breeze. It just feel a little bit better.
And yesterday I painted graffiti. I write graffiti. So graffiti, I've always been addicted to graffiti, but lately it has become like my form of going golfing.
Like therapy.
So therapy. So people go golfing, I do my graffiti. I did a fly piece yesterday. I'm gonna go over there and get a picture from it now and post it. But and then practice makes perfect with everything. So I'm getting better. You know, I'm getting back.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I was really paint a lot. So my shit was better than now, but now I'm starting to get my shit back.
That's your skills.
And improving my skills. But it's therapeutic for me. But yesterday, writing graffiti, I was dip fresh. Graffiti writers wear sneakers that they know the paint is gonna get on. They wear clothes with paint already. Like they ain't messing up their fly.
You're an artist. You got
Fat Joe can fly.
while you paint.
Yeah. Fly at the paint.
Screw it.
That's different level. That's different level.
Suits with shit. Like I'm up in there, they looking at me. I know they looking at me like I'm crazy. They're like, yo, this dude crazy, man. This guy, he too much, but I love it. I love it. And my whole crew fly. We care about being fly. You know, my stylist, he's like my brother. You know, my wife's best friend, and like my brother. And he's always fly. There's a trick. Let me tell you business if you're watching. There's a trick. The stylist, they can give you the flyest shit, but when they come give it to you, they got some shit on that kill the shit they gave you. So you could always feel like, yo,
I gotta get to that.
Yo, you get that, Terrell? Oh, God. So I'm going to tell you what I did for the video, how it got so fly, right? I said, yo, Terrell. And I picked out the
You can see it in your face. You like,
I picked out the silks. Yeah, but what happened was I told Terrell, I said, yo, Terrell, I need the outfit you're going to wear if you were going to a stylist's birthday party.
The style
you know,
on the
sometimes
stylist.
style
on the stylist.
Yeah, style
That's
on
a
the
bar.
stylist.
That's a bar.
So
Style on the stylist.
I might
That's
use
it.
that. Yo,
That's
that's it.
it.
But what I'm saying is,
stylist.
my brother Terrell, he'll go to a birthday party of another stylist and walk in there like a fucking alien, like floating with some purple
Some
poochie
alligator.
shit. Some shit. Yeah, he walks in there and then they're like, damn, this dude is too fly. I said, Terrell, that's how we got to look in the video. We got to look like we went to the stylist party and styled on them. And I'm glad you appreciate
so
the
much.
fresh, because I be thinking I spend a lot of money on gear. And I be thinking nobody noticed.
Oh no,
my man Mike B. Shout out to Mike B. He
Shout out to
posted
Mike
you
B.
today.
Mike B, my brother.
Yeah, he from our neighborhood.
Yeah, he just styled the coat
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike B. That's ironic because he literally just posted a post.
He did what he said.
It was you wearing This is what he posted today. Literally.
That's that Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
That's when Dapper Dan was still illegal.
LL is inspired.
That's when Dapper Dan first came home and he wasn't with Gucci yet.
Whew.
That freestyle?
Yeah.
Rap
He
City,
posted
the
the
basis.
freestyle?
Yeah, it's a swipe. It's a swipe. And then he did the LL. It was ULL. It's like a swipe.
Early in the morning, could barely feel my face, cutting that ron, hammer on my waist. My baby mama stressing. I'm like, get the fuck up out my face. Feds on my ass now. About to catch a case. I'm allergic to the bullshit. Woo!
The big show.
Yeah, that's the
big.
show. Yo, I might have to repost that shit.
The light.
I love that
That's
The
freestyle.
light led to this.
The light.
Mike B posted it, and
That's
this
a
came.
fact. That's a fact.
Yo,
Joe, man, we want to thank you, brother. Thank you
so much,
for being
man.
gracious with your time.
Appreciate y'all,
appreciate
man.
it. What would you like to tell the people?
I like to tell them, stay in the light. Stay in the light, man, and stay positive, and just know that your darkest moments bring your most clarity. You got to stay in the game. You never know. And so Business 101, I'll tell you, Dr. Dre lost Death Row Records. He was back at nothing. He went and found Eminem and 50 Cent. He might have made $50 billion from that. Anybody, us, we would be happy with that. Did he stop? No, he stood in the
Kept
game.
going.
You never know.
Beats by
He
Dre.
kept going and made the beats and made $1 billion.
yeah.
So you gotta stay in the game. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. That's a fact. Troy, housekeeping items?
Yeah, shout out to everybody on patreon.com. That is our proud to pay program. And everybody that is a tier 5 member, you know that you are part of EYL University, the #1 place for business, finance, and anything entrepreneurship in the world, man. And shout out to all our earners that's part of that. And shout out to everybody that's supporting the merch, man. That logo tee, man, that brings back
That's
memories.
a dope tee.
Yeah, that's one of our
I'm
really.
looking at that shit the whole
Yeah,
time. I'm
that-
like, yo, is that cool and Dre?
That's me. See, there you go again.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.